What's an inexpensive but active hobby anyone can easily get into? Reading. Books are so cheap now. A YouTube-guided yoga class at home. People forever underestimate that it's an active hobby. Because they think holding poses is completely static and you have to be flexible. No. Flexibility is a byproduct. I promise you. You will sweat, stretch, get your gut working, and heal your mind. I particularly recommend yoga with Adriene, as she's down to earth, focuses on checking in with yourself and how it feels for your body and mind, and less about looking pretty or cool doing poses, which unfortunately some yogi influencers do and therefore give it a bad name. She always says the hardest part is showing up, so I hope that helps someone with 5 minutes to spare. I am surprised no one has said running or calisthenics yet. Dirt cheap hobbies that are definitely active. Plus the gains you can make are incredible. Walking. Literally just put one foot in front of the other for half as long as you want. The other half is walking home. Crying. Hiking. Just need a backpack with some essentials, water, snacks. Juggling. You just need the balls to do it. Disc golf. Writing. Doesn't matter if you are any good. Doesn't matter if you want to use a keyboard or a pen. Doesn't matter if you have either of those things. I've literally written haiku on stones in my garden with smaller rocks. It can cost effectively nothing but time. Don't have much time? Write haiku. Poems. Songs. Hell, write a word and think about the next word for tomorrow's session. Only advice is only write for yourself. If you write with the goal of making an awesome series of novels that will propel you to stardom and start an everlasting film franchise, you will not write. Write because you enjoy doing it. Like figuring out your plots. And love interacting with your characters. Building digital Lego creations. Physical Lego sets can be expensive. But there's a piece of software called Bricklink Studio. https www.bricklink.com/v3/studio/download.page. That's free. This lets you take virtual Lego pieces, every shape available, and assemble them. You have infinite pieces to play with, so you can grab the most obscure bricks and stack a dozen of them together. Once you're done, the software can generate a realistic-looking image of your creation. For example, here's a robotics lab. https i.imager.com/exhibohw.png that I designed for a minifigure that I have. If you really want your creation to be a physical item, the software can help you upload the parts list to Bricklink and you can buy the pieces, either new or used, to save money. It will even estimate how much physically building the set will cost you. Collecting cool locking stones. Depending on the area you live in. Birdwatching. Okay, I know it sounds like an old person hobby. Well, it kinda is. For me, it's such a challenge but helpful for my ADHD, as it helps me practice mindfulness and gets me out to observe natural surroundings. And my local Audubon Society has been a good resource to learn more about the native birds in my area. Some people throw down a lot of cash, set up bird feeders and watch birds from their home. But for me, I got a local bird guide and go out hiking around nature trails. Role-playing games is one of the cheapest hobbies I know. You just need a handful of dice, a pen and some paper. There are tons of free rule sets legally available online. The rest is just about your imagination. It's a very active hobby. The only hard part is finding a group to play with, which can require a bit of sleuthing to find where they gather in your city and some persistence. when trying to find a group. Reading. So much of it is free now. Gardening, including fruit, vegetable, and flower gardens. Geocaching. Hiking. Photography. No starting costs as you'll most likely carry around a nice camera already, and there's a bunch of free tutorials around. On the far end it can be a black hole for money. I have a friend who is a birdwatcher. He seems to love it, and he can be as active and adventuresome as his body and his budget will allow. So you can do it for free and just use your phone, or you can get binoculars and you can travel, or just use your yard or whatever. I have enjoyed his various sites and blogs. https://whatbirdsareinnmybackyard.com/p/about.html. m=1. Over the years, we used to play cards with him and his wife before they moved away from our area. I miss hearing his stories in person. But it's nice now and then when I hear an unusual birdsong to think of him. Tetris. Super accessible game. It's on basically every game console. It's not graphic intensive. It's usually not too expensive. Tetr.io is literally free. And there's a decent community for it. Geocaching. Fishing. Cycling. I know that the popular stereotype of the hobby is lycra-clad dentists riding $12,000 Cervelo monstrosities. But getting a cheap used bike, picking a direction, and exploring your town is extremely affordable. Yes, it gets expensive if you really want to shave off a few more grams and look velo. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's your thing. Spurn it. Own your chonky Fred piece of shit. Put on some sunscreen. And get some miles in.